Hello and good morning or afternoon, whenever you're watching this. I hope that you put into practice day one, energizing with water, resetting your body with water. And today we're joining Alyssa again. She's got another amazing day of reset tricks for us. And today we're talking about food. I'm so excited because a lot of times I wake up in the morning and I open my fridge and I'm looking in there and there's nothing to eat. Or I don't feel like anything for breakfast. So I'll skip it or I won't have an adequate one. And then I go through my day and then I get really hungry and just eat an unhealthy snack in the middle of the morning to try and make it through to lunch. So Alyssa, help me out here. I want to be energized. What are we going to do today?
All right, well, we're going to talk about one of my favorite things, food. I love talking about food. I've always loved food. I was an expert cinnamon roll maker as a teenager. I don't make those as often anymore, but they're a great treat once in a while. So as a nutritionist, I take a pretty simple approach overall to food. I feel like food has been complicated. I feel like there's so many polarizing headlines and groups when it comes to nutrition and food. So I like to make it simpler because I don't think it needs to be as complicated as a lot of the news pieces make it out to be. So food is also very powerful. I really feel like it's underestimated or overlooked how powerful food can be. And so part of your challenge today is to really pay attention to how you feel before you eat, while you eat, and after you eat, without judgment. I think that's really important. I want to make sure that we're looking at this. It's not an all or nothing thing. Healthy eating is not all or nothing. There should not be guilt, shame, and those feelings around food. I believe that God has given us food for a reason. He could have made us without the need for food. He could have made us without the need for water. He's given us a body that needs these things, I feel like, as a reminder that we need constant nourishment, just like we need to be constantly in prayer and learning about our Creator. I think food is kind of a reminder of that. There's so many references to feasts in the Bible. So I feel like we're meant to enjoy food, that it's part of our experience here on earth. And God has given us so many plants to enjoy. Like, think of the variety. Even what we see in the grocery store is a small fraction of what is out there. There are hundreds of varieties of, say, tomatoes or kale. Like, there's so much variety out there. And we don't often take time to consider that, or we just go with our favorites, or we grab what's convenient, which is okay at times. But I feel like we're kind of missing the goodness that can come from really powerful food that's energizing and nourishing. So as you look at food and what you're eating, just consider, do I feel good after this food? Did I enjoy eating this food? That's all part of the experience. And so I find that when I eat food that is mostly a lot of plants and that provides a lot of nourishment for my body, that I feel a whole lot better. I have consistent energy. I'm able to keep up with my kids. I'm able to think as I work in my business. It just really makes a huge difference. And so that's why I get so excited about food, to help people find that as well. And again, like I said, with water, it's often personalized. So what is my favorite meal might not be your favorite meal. It's all about exploring. And I think we need to do that without judgment as well. Think of yourself like a detective. You're a food detective. So look at what you're eating like a person looking from the outside in. Just observe what's there and start to notice those cues. And as you make adjustments and add in maybe more greens or more veggies, see how that affects you. Observe it like a detective. Is this good? Is this not good? And it takes time and effort, but I feel like all good things take time and effort. So what I also want you to know is that when it comes to nutrition, the experts really do believe in the same overall concepts for like 90 to 95% of the information out there. So if you're considering like a paleo way of eating or vegan or keto, they all agree on about 90 to 95% of nutrition science. And we're not going to be able to get into that, but I just wanted to give you that overall picture because I feel like if you're following trends in health and wellness, that it can get very polarizing and clickbaity and headline driven. And I don't think it needs to be that. So the other thing that I really want to focus on when it comes to food is what I consider the trifecta for consistent energy, which is what we really want, right? So when we're looking at having enough energy, you want to look at your food and make sure you're getting protein, fiber, and healthy fat. So I know those don't come in the aisles in the grocery store. Aisle 1 is protein, aisle 2 is fiber. It's not like that. So I'll help you out. I'll demonstrate with what will be my lunch. So in this bowl, I have protein. The protein comes in the form of these black beans, quinoa, there's a little bit of tofu in there. Those are all protein sources. Fiber comes from basically anything that's a plant. So I have some lettuce in here, peppers, tomatoes. The beans also have a good amount of fiber. The quinoa also has fiber. So all of that is providing fiber. So I've got protein and fiber checked off. Now I need my healthy fat. So I do have a bit of olive oil in here, but I also have one of my favorite healthy fats, which is avocado. So I'll put some of this on top, and then I have all three. So what happens when you combine all three of those is that it slows down your digestion. So what that means is your body is breaking down your food to create what it needs to run. So our body literally cannot create what it needs if we don't provide it with the raw materials. So if you think about what you're eating and how much nutrition is in it, think about those overall nutrients versus calories. I never count calories. It's not something I do with my clients either. I prefer to focus on nutrients. So we're getting a ton of nutrients in this bowl. It's going to break it down. My body's going to use it to build my muscles, to support my bones. It's going to use it to help with my stress reactions because you need those vitamins and minerals to help all those hormonal cascades run. You need it for so many different things. And so when we break all that down, we also have sugar entering our blood. So that is what gives us our energy. We need sugar. And just FYI, our brain uses 25% of that energy. So if you ever wonder why you're exhausted after training or a day of school, that's why your brain is using at least a quarter of your resources to run itself. It's very energy hungry. So what are you putting in your body that's also feeding your brain? So think about that as a source. We need to provide it with the raw materials so that it can build neurotransmitters, so that it can build hormones. All of these things need to be built from what we're eating and what our body can make. So if we have that protein, fiber, and healthy fat, it slows down the digestion. Our blood sugar isn't shooting up. So if you have something that's mostly just a carbohydrate, say like crackers or a donut, it's going to shoot up your blood sugar. And then you have the inevitable down. So when you get here, usually you know when you're having that blood sugar low. If you don't, it looks like shaky hands. It can feel like nausea. You can feel disoriented. You can be angry or hangry. That's what low blood sugar feels like. And you don't want that. Those highs and lows are what set you up for chronic disease. And it really is a lot of wear and tear on your system. So if you're able to combine protein, fiber, and healthy fat, you get energy that looks like this, where your blood sugar is just kind of mostly swimming along. And your energy is then also like this. Because we don't want our energy going up and down and up and down. And usually this down, you might feel at like 3 p.m. or 4 p.m. when you're looking snacky and you want to find the vending machine or another coffee. That's where a lunch like this has your back before you get there. So you want to consider where you can find protein, fiber, and healthy fat in all your meals. So that is like the overall arcing principle that I use when it comes to food. I don't look necessarily at specific components or percentages. You can kind of get into that when you personalize it, but just be aware of those components and look to add them in. So for simple tip, anything with fiber, you're looking at fruit, veggies, greens, nuts, seeds, beans, lentils. Those are all great sources of fiber. Some have more than others, some have less, but you'll get a source of fiber that way too. Your proteins, what you're looking at is like basic animal proteins. You have chicken, you have egg, you have beef, all the different animal proteins, plant proteins, beans, lentils, tofu, tempeh. There's a variety out there. And then for healthy fats, I usually lean on avocado, a little bit of coconut. Olive oil is a really great one that's really heart healthy and supportive. So just look for those things. Oh, also nuts. Nuts and seeds are a great source of healthy fats, and nut butters and seed butters. Those are fantastic. Those also make really great snacks. So you can think about this too with your kids. So if you find that they're snacky all the time or they're always grazing, just be observant. What are they eating? If it's always like crackers and pretzels, they're not getting that protein and healthy fat to anchor that digestion. So they're going like this with their blood sugar as well. And you'll notice sometimes their behavior is also like this when that's happening. So if you can think about that for your kids as well too, if you're giving them a snack, maybe like apples and some peanut butter, that helps anchor that apple. The apple also has some fiber. So that helps anchor it so that they're not hungry again in an hour, snacking all day and then not touching the dinner that you've spent time preparing. So just something to keep in mind. So as a resource, I do have a free 5-day meal plan for busy moms, which we can send you as well. And I'll have a few notes on there too about looking for that fiber, protein, and healthy fat, because if you can get your head around that concept and look for it in the components in your meals, that is your game changer. Managing your blood sugar is one of the greatest things you can do for your health, and out of control blood sugar is one of the big risk factors for developing Alzheimer's as well as getting into diabetes and cardiovascular disease. So I feel like I can't emphasize this enough, that this is the way to really stabilize your energy and nourish your body and give it what it needs.
Awesome. Thank you, Alyssa, for this amazing insight today. So if there's one thing that we could put into practice today to try and incorporate this, what should we do? Just to tackle one meal or what?
Well, I think it's best to start really small and work up from there. So I would say the best thing to do is make sure you're having some fiber, because that's one thing that's really, really low across the board. So look at your meals. Do you have a plant on your plate? Do you have a veggie? Do you have a green? Do you have some fruit? Make sure you have some kind of fiber at every meal, because it does so much more than just slow down digestion. It also helps clear cholesterol out of the digestive tract, and it can just really support your overall health. So start with that. Make sure you got a veggie or a green on your plate.
Perfect. Well, okay. So that's your challenge today. Take a picture of your food, ladies, and post it on the tribe. We would love to see this beautiful plate, kind of like Alyssa's. I wish you could send it to me through the screen for lunch, or that I was invited over for lunch, but alas, I'm in Calgary. But I will make sure I make a beautiful balanced dinner, because I had lunch right before we started today. All right. I am so excited for tomorrow. So we will see you then. Be sure to get that meal plan, because those recipes are stellar, and the link will be in your email. So don't forget to check it out. Bye.